Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm joined today by the usual panel, minus Lisa, and we are here to discuss can 2025, 2024 in terms of the media content that we were able to nerd out with this past year. I guess first of all, as well, Happy New Year.
Oh yeah,
this is
Happy
our
New
first
Year.
episode of 2025. So hope you all had a good holiday season and you enjoyed yourselves. But all right, so my first video game highlight for 2024 was The Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I got 32 hours clocked in on that one. It's just a solid game from Ubisoft.
One of the only solid games from them in a while.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but he's right. I wasn't gonna say that.
But that's on my highlight list too. I loved that game. Like, I know Prince of Persia fans were not thrilled really to have a Metroidvania, but I thought they did excellent and best Metroidvanias I played last year. So it's too bad that it didn't do better.
I'll just make a quick blurb. Then I did enjoy that game. I played it on the hardest difficulty and it kicked my butt and I loved it.
Austin, did you ever play that one?
I didn't play that one, no, unfortunately.
Oh man, shame on you.
No,
dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
No, 2024 for me was focused on playing some classic games for the very first time myself. One of those was actually Chrono Trigger that I did on the Hailstorm channel before I joined Simply Nerdy. I'd have to say that was probably the highlight of the year for me, and I played some really awesome games this year, including Paper Mario, Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Anthony and I were able to do Super Mario Land 6 Golden Coins, so that was a bit of a nostalgic throwback as well. Did some Bendy, so a lot of nostalgia for me this year, as well as some newer games, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions.
Yes, that's on mine as well.
Yeah, but I really...
That was so much fun.
Yeah, I've also really been enjoying Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know a lot of people have probably already played that now, but I've had it on Steam for a year or two now, and I'm just barely getting to play it on PC in preparation for Rebirth, which was just announced to be released on PC in the next month or so. So everybody who wants to, stay tuned, because we're going to be releasing that on the Patreon for Simply Nerdy. So I'll have a playthrough, and we'll probably release some highlights of the sillier moments. But anyway.
The other one we played was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I think we all played that one.
Yep.
And I clocked 45 hours for that guy. And I'm not even an RPG fan. Just kidding, Anthony. I am. Just kidding. I am.
You have to show the image of what you played on Switch this year that you shared in our Discord. I'm not an RPG fan. What did I play this year? Xenoblade. Paper Mario. Xenoblade.
All RPGs.
All RPGs. It's true. Oh man, and I did play a bunch of Xenoblade Chronicles, so that was probably my top two. Those did not come out this year, but Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 were a highlight for my year. Helldivers 2, obviously, 55 hours clocked in that. And I just found out tonight they're making a movie. Yeah, that was this year.
Oh wow. It feels like
crazy.
It's been quite a while now, but
I agree, but no, it was this year. It's crazy. And it is such a fun couch co-op game to play with your friends. And I also did some Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition, which I absolutely love that game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and the 20th Anniversary Edition just made it that much better. Plus, they had some new content, a little bit of new content in there, a little bit more lore that we did not have in the originals. That was really fun. And of course, Astrobot, which won Game of the Year. It should have. Thank you very much, world, for course correcting. I'm just kidding. Of course correcting. But yeah, Astrobot definitely deserved it. And then the last game I tried this year was Marvel Rivals, which came out at the very end of this year. But it's kind of like an Overwatch clone, which is, you hear that a lot nowadays, and it's like, another one. But I have to agree with the nerddom out there that this one is actually really good. And I'm not even a PvP fan, but this one's great.
I'm excited to try it. I think we're going to have a Simply Nerdy night.
We're having a Simply Nerdy Saturday on Saturday night. This Saturday.
I'm excited to play it.
On the Discord. So
That's a great list. I was gonna say, for me, Astrobot. That's one that like I was very tempted to buy, even though I don't have a PS5. Like especially with it like releasing around the same time as Concord. I wanted to vote with my wallet. Like, this is what we want. Want Astrobot, not Concord. Anyway.
yes.
Because it's one of those games I definitely want to play someday. I just don't have a PS5, so I'll do it somehow someday. The new games as of last year that I played, obviously you already talked about Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. That one was one I sort of played the original, but kind of gave up on it. So it's fun to finally finish it and have this beautiful remaster. Thought it was great. Now I understand why Paper Mario fans, it's like the peak of the series for them. So. And then as far as Metroidvanias go, that's one of my favorite genres. It's the Purge the Lost Crown. The other one I want to mention is Animal Well. Animal Well was,
Did that go this year?
yes, Animal Well was like beautiful. I loved the pixel art. The atmosphere was incredible. And, the developer was saying how his goal making the game was not use any of the tropes associated with Metroidvanias. So, like, every, like, item you get, it's like a yo-yo. A bouncy ball, just like random things, but you use them in really interesting ways, and especially to like get to some secret areas. So I don't know how anyone figured out how to use the frisbee to reach one particular secret. The game is full of like clever puzzles, clever uses of items. It goes a little too far for me. I wanted to complete it. But I had to use a guide for like basically everything besides the main ending. So anyway, that was a special experience. And then I think my personal favorite new game last year was Echoes of Wisdom. It was fun to play a more classic Zelda again, to a degree.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely has some of the experimental flavor of Breath of the Wild in Tears of the Kingdom, but more classic top-down Zelda format. And the game was just super charming to me. The entire time, I was several moments where I was just grinning. I was like, of course, I turned the difficulty to hero mode from the beginning. But any of the complaints people had saying it was too easy, no big deal for me. It was actually one of the more challenging levels I've ever played on hero mode. So, with the Link's Awakening remake, for some reason, I wasn't 100% sold on the like little cutesy toy art style.
Right.
I don't know. But then this game, I just felt like, I don't know. I guess I just needed a second game that clicked with me, and I was like, this art style fits perfectly with the tone of this game, the story of it. So that was like, as far as new games go, one of my personal highlights I played. I do want to mention a couple of runners-up. These are games that did not release last year, but I played last year, and they were excellent. I played Sea of Stars, one of the best indie turn-based RPGs I've ever played. Like the pixel art is gorgeous, like some of the best I've ever seen. And the story is excellent, wholesome. So if you like RPGs at all, if you like Chrono Trigger, Sea of Stars. I finished Astral Chain, thanks to Anthony and his combat series.
Nice. Sorry, if you have not seen the combat series, you can check it out over here in the card.
That one was in my backlog forever. I got overwhelmed by it. Several reasons. Like the combat is just intense. I like being graded. Oh no, you fought at an F. So even though you won the battle, you suck. Anyway.
No stupid children. F minus mine.
Yeah. So I kind of felt that way. But I watched Anthony's training series, and I went from like being overwhelmed and like excelling, getting F ranks on battles and stuff, and feeling awesome. So that was an awesome, one of the best 3D action games I've ever played. If you play that one, make sure you turn up the difficulty a little bit so you can't just button mash. I finished Pokemon Legends Arceus. That was one that at the time I played it, I loved it. There's a lot to it. It's like one of the first open world feeling Pokemons. Maybe Sword and Shield was first, but anyway, it was innovative, more innovative than the standard ones, and I did love it. But then I, for some reason, moved on to something else and then for a couple of years I didn't play it. Finally got back to it. I 100% of it.
Dang, David. Serious?
Yeah. In order to get like all the special endings, you have to catch every Pokemon. So I did it.
Dang.
I highly recommend that one, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next. Pokemon Legends ZA. That's one of those ones that we'll have to answer the question: Can Pokemon Legends ZA be as good as my highlight from last year of Pokemon Legends Arceus? And then my last one I want to mention is Xenoblade Chronicles 3: Future Redeemed, which I believe released this year.
We were looking at it. It was actually 2023, but most of us played it this year, and that's why I felt like it was released this year, but it wasn't apparently.
Why did I wait to play it? I don't know.
Me too. I don't know why we waited to play it, but I felt like it came out last year, like early last year, because that's when I recorded it for my other channel. And anyway,
Looked at my year in review from Nintendo. It was like in the spring this year that it said I was playing Xenoblade for a couple months. So
Yeah.
sure I played it this year, but I didn't think I waited that long. Anyway, it was amazing.
So yeah, my 2024 was focused mostly on the new releases that came with it. Astrobot was the highlight for me. I wasn't planning on picking it up when it first released because I had some other things I was prioritizing at the time. But when I realized that it was as good as it was, and also that I could make an important statement with my wallet by supporting it in the context of the Concord debacle, I picked it up after all and wasn't sad about it at all. I really loved it. I think it was a perfect distillation and a reminder in the modern age of what we're really looking for in video games. Those of us who play games to have fun, at least. So loved that one. Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door. It's one of my favorite RPGs ever, and it was the impossible remake that happened. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Echoes of Wisdom was really great. I felt like it was one of their finer top-down Zelda offerings. Some technical issues aside, I thought it was a lot of fun. Mario and Luigi Brothership is another one that's a big highlight for me. That one has been put on the back burner a little bit, mostly because I let myself be consumed once again by Wind and Truth. So now that that's taken care of, I'm probably going to go back to it soon, although I've got some other games on my name as well. Those are probably the actual 2024 releases that were really highlights for me. The only other big one I would probably list that wasn't released last year or anywhere near last year that I experienced for the first time was Starcraft. So that was a fun one. I got all the way to, I will admit, and I've just decided that I'm an adult with limited time, and I'm not going to sacrifice my soul to a game anymore. So I got all the way to Brood War Zerg Mission 4, and then I got so sick of the game that I took a long break, and then decided I was just going to cheat my way through the rest of the missions so I could see the story and get to Starcraft 2. So that's another one that I'm going to be picking up. But
nice.
Anyway,
no judgment. I don't blame you, to be honest.
I got through the majority of the game with no cheats whatsoever. But when I got to one mission and I was playing with really solid micro, I feel like I was doing solid counters, and they would send 20 Ultralisks, and Bob's your uncle. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
So, I don't want to hear it from those of you who are the super Starcraft fans. I don't want to hear it. I don't.
Well, and after being on hiatus too for so long, you'd almost have to invest just as much time to get back into the swing of things.
Right. Well, and again, I was still pretty burned out. I loved the game. I loved the lore. It just that Zerg campaign in Brood War ratcheted the difficulty up so ridiculously high that I was like, this is
brutal.
Anyway, I'm not going to go further down that rabbit hole. StarCraft is fun. I'm very excited to be moving on to greener pastures with StarCraft 2 because I've heard that it is so massive an improvement that honestly, that was part of the reason why I was getting so sick of StarCraft 1. I was just like, can I stop playing this game and play the real one now, please? Anyway, there you go. That was my 2024.
So, our most anticipated games of 2025. And will these games live up to the hype of 2024? Who wants to start?
Me. 5-4.
David.
He stole it.
I raised my hand. You win the bad medal.
I'm sorry.
Do I still get to go first, even though David stole my main one?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Just announcing it for you.
Yes, there you go. So Metroid Prime 4 is probably my number one most anticipated game next year. And I'm really hoping that we'll see more information on it soon and that it's going to look even more amazing. We didn't get a whole lot with the last announcement, but we got some gameplay footage, and considering that it's been radio silent between 2019 until the time that they showed that, I was happy with what we got. But my main hope is, since the rumors are suggesting that we're also going to see some announcements and an earlier release window than we were thinking for the Switch 2, I'm really hopeful that we'll find out that it's going to be a multi-platform release with nice technical improvements on the Switch 2 version, and because that's the version I'm going to get if it exists. So very excited about that. I think that's a good also segue for how I'm just really excited about the Switch 2, and I hope that we do find out that it comes out earlier in the year instead of like the holiday, like everyone was saying, all they're going to do with that. I'm kind of hoping that everyone who said that is wrong. And there's a lot of games that would really benefit, Metroid Prime 4 being the prime example. Anyway, so that's
it's a shame Lisa isn't here to appreciate that pun.
Man. So that's my main one. I don't feel like there's a lot of other games that we know of.
Monster Hunter Wild.
That's what I was gonna say. Monster Hunter Wild.
David, oh my gosh. There's all my things.
Let's go.
I literally was thinking I was going to save that for last, while also saying there's not much else I'm aware of.
Anthony, I wouldn't have said it. I thought you were saying you can't think of anything else.
So yes, other than Monster Hunter Wilds, there's not a lot of other games that I'm really aware of at this point that I'm definitely anticipating. But Monster Hunter Wilds, yes. I actually recently upgraded my computer to a point where I think it can handle it. Pretty pleased with that, buddy. And because that's how I want to play it this time. And Monster Hunter Rise was my first Monster Hunter game, and it was a very excellent gateway into the fandom. And so yes, I'm very excited to pick up Wilds and play the snot out of it as well. Probably not.
I just ordered it on my Steam Deck, so I'm ready. Nice. I'm surprised, Anthony, you didn't say this one, but this is on my most anticipated for 2025. And you can be proud of me if you want. You can be proud of me. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Oh, gosh.
X. Yeah, that's true.
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
No, you're right. I can't believe that you got
that's why we're here. We got your back.
First David, twice, and then Steven. I have nothing.
Anthony, it's time for you to turn in your Xenoblade fan card.
No.
Wow!
No way. No.
Wow!
I'm way more versed in the lore than probably any of you combined.
That's true.
But
which is why
I was just going to say yes. And perhaps the reason why that it didn't immediately come to mind is that my experience with the original version was kind of iffy for a number of reasons. I'm not going to get into it. But I'll just say that some revelations at the end of the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, combined with some hints at some new content in the release trailer the trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I'm suddenly hopeful that we're going to see the holes tied up that I disliked so much the first time around. So yes, I am very excited for that one as well.
I wasn't the Xenoblade fan yet when the original Xenoblade X released on the Wii U, so I didn't play it. And I also heard like Anthony and Lisa were disappointed with it. So, but like what Anthony said, they might be addressing every concern they had with the original game with this new release. So, I am a Xenoblade fan now. I'm ready to probably give it the second chance, or give it a first chance on the second.
So another one I'm going to throw out there is, David already mentioned it, but Pokemon Legends ZA, or ZA, whatever it is.
I think it's ZA.
Okay, so
I don't know.
You're going to say ZA. I'm excited. We'll see if it holds up to the other Legends game, Arceus. And then Split Fiction. Split Fiction is that the co-op game made by the same people who made Two of Us. No, two.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Thank you, David.
All right.
And it looks really good.
As soon as
It
you
was
said
just
it
fun
was made
co-op.
by the same people, I remembered that was another one I'm keeping my eye on.
It was announced at the Game Awards, I believe. So
Yeah.
it looks really good. And then the only other thing I have here, if it releases next year, is Nintendo Switch 2, which could be a whole other discussion.
That's
There's
what
been-
I'm. It's hard because I'm hoping that if they do announce something this week, that there will be some huge bombs that they're going to drop as far as games that we can anticipate for 2025. So it's hard to say right now, off the top of my head, some of the games aside from Metroid Prime 4 that I'm excited for Nintendo. And I guess Xenoblade Chronicles X would be the other exception. But for me, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because that's coming to PC. I mentioned that earlier. I'm excited to play that one on PC and finally get caught up. So that's one that I'm excited for.
And you have a good point. You have a good point with Switch 2. So we've officially reached the year where Metroid Prime 4 is releasing, and they're announcing Switch 2. We're here.
Mhm.
We made it.
Finally.
We know those things are happening. It's hard to be patient, but we know they're happening this time frame. And
Leaks are happening everywhere.
when Switch 2 is officially announced, we know there's going to be launch games announced with it. We know there will be launch games and some Nintendo surprises there. Maybe a new 3D Mario. That would be a safe bet, I think. Maybe a new Mario Kart.
I've heard, I've heard the rumor mill churning out a few things about that.
That's definitely something to look forward to, and we can't really anticipate exactly what it'll be because we're waiting on that announcement. It's either the worst kept secret, or
You can safely say that they have totally botched this announcement.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
no kidding. Yeah, leaks are everywhere. We've seen them. We just haven't made a video on it yet.
Yeah.
Too much.
So pending any news from Nintendo in the upcoming week or two, then we might have a follow-up video.
A follow-up, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
what's the vote here? Do we believe most of these recent leaks?
Yes.
It's-
Like pictures
yeah.
of tokens, pictures of hardware and stuff?
This
Yes,
is the largest conflux of seemingly corroborated evidence that we have seen in the entire time that we've had rumors about the Switch 2. And we have some reputable folks on the internet who are saying, you know what, I think this is actually real this time. So I think it's only a matter of time, and I hope it's sooner rather than later.
Why hasn't it happened already?
Because Nintendo is a bunch of weirdos.
Yes, because
what are
they're
they waiting
stubborn. I don't know what they're waiting for, but they're starting to bug me.
Yeah, it's just radio silence. Shouldn't there have been like we're sorry about these leaks. Now watch the real trailer or something like that, you know? Like, no, they're just silent. I don't know what they're thinking, but hopefully in the near future we'll be doing a follow-up video and actually talk about the official reveal, and we can put all these leaks to rest.
You know what would be really bad? Because of the most recent leaks and people thinking that the Joy-Con can be used as a mouse and all the hype that's going behind all of that. Like, if they're wrong and you can't use a Joy-Con like a mouse, then the fans are overhyping the console. Nintendo's going to have some backlash. If they better announce this thing and tell us what it actually can do.
See, that was
I
Sorry,
don't feel like that would be very exciting anyway. Like, what would be the big deal about it having to be a mouse?
so you can play Metroid Prime 4 with mouse and keyboard. No, I don't.
Yep. Mouse to keep control.
Mouse and 5 buttons.
First-person shooters.
I know that.
Point and
I know.
click. Point
Yeah,
and click.
first-person shooters. People care about their mouse aiming, so
Hmm.
oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, no.
The other speculation was you use it to play games like Mario Paint on NSO.
Yes, Mario Paint on NSO. That'd be
Um,
awesome. Anthony and I sank many hours in Mario Paint, and I love that game.
That was a favorite in my childhood.
There was another thing where one of the controllers had that C button. I think we talked about it in the previous rumor.
Yes.
Speculating that's for 3DS games, like dual screen support. Maybe we're looking at like a Wii U type of thing where you use the Switch itself as the second screen. Um,
And the TV will
Yeah.
remotely project.
yeah, something like that. Maybe they're bringing back a dual screen kind of thing like the Wii U.
Dude, I'd be okay with that.
Then
That'd be
you
cool.
could have then you officially have 3DS games on NSO with your holding the screen as your second screen. Anyway, lots of speculation, and I'm just eager for the official.
And no announcement, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, waiting for the announcement. Anything else to say about that? I think that wraps up our discussion for today. We've exhausted everything. But yeah, who knows what else we're going to be playing this year, because Nintendo has yet to reveal that console. When they do, I'm sure there's going to be some titles this year that we guys currently do not know about, which we'll have to have a discussion later on.
I mean, for heaven's sake, there better be, because honestly, if they don't, they're trying to eke out another year on a completely tired console, then they're smoking something.
Then there's hope for Yoshi's Woolly World, God.
No, not worth it, Steven. I'm sorry. I'm sacrificing that game to the good juju. No, Steven.
Oh,
Hey, Steve, I have to say I'm
good.
sorry. I'm sorry. I've also given up on the port. I just started playing it on the Wii U.
David.
I am playing it. I just said,
Okay, good. Okay, now, at least you're
you've
playing.
talked about it enough that I was like, you know what? I want to play this again on the Wii U. So, and it's one of the best Yoshi platformers.
I would have that game in a heartbeat, but I'm not going to sacrifice another year to a console just to get it. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair. I don't know if I would either, but I love it. I love it. How about this? Just give us a 4K version on Switch 2, Nintendo, and we'll call it.
Yeah. Here's one to test Anthony's willpower. What if we're actually getting the Kid Icarus 8?
Ooh.
I still would not want it to delay Switch 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have to delay it, but I'd be excited if they
I would be.
because I mean they could release that a year or two down the road. They don't have to delay the Switch 2 for that. But that would be really cool.
There's basically no game series that I'm willing to use as a consideration for pushing out the Switch 2 release. It doesn't matter if it's Zelda or Metroid or Xenoblade or whatever, or Mario. If I want the Switch 2, release it with no games if you must. We already did that with the 3DS. Just
as long as NSO works on it day one, we should be good.
Yeah, and they officially said it's backwards compatible.
Yeah, it's just going to replace your Switch.
Exactly. So that's fine. Release it.
Your entire Switch library can just scoot over and
Yep.
on to the next one.
Yeah.
I think that exhausts our thoughts and discussion about the best 2024 games, if they can live up to 2025 and all things Switch. Anthony,
How?
you have something else you wanted to say? Sorry,
No.
maybe your camera was frozen on your face going like this.
Oh no. No.
Oh, he's waiting. I was like, he's waiting to say something. Anyway,
Just a technical.
thank you so much for listening. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell so you know when we release other videos. And until next time, guys,
Keep it nerdy.
Keep it nerdy.